Advocate, thanks so much for your time. I mean, I'm sure you have been watching as the whole of South Africa has the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into state capture, amongst other things. Your assessments of some of the testimonies that have been said so far?
No, thank you for the opportunity for us to come and interact with you and the public through your channel. We appreciate the opportunity. To your question, we support and welcome the Zondo State Capture Commission, and we have cooperated with the Commission where necessary, and we will continue to do so. So, as you may have seen, yesterday we issued a statement which, amongst others, we are saying the Zondo State Capture Commission should be allowed to proceed and proceed unhindered so that it can conclude its work appropriately.
Sure.
So at this stage, we wouldn't like to offer any assessment or any view in terms of the testimonies that have been offered there. We are of the view that it would be inappropriate to do that at this stage. We leave it to the Commission to do its work. However, we have taken it upon ourselves, because you would have realized that part of the testimony that came out made reference to the special investigating unit investigation that was conducted a while back in the correctional services space. So to that end, we have then pronounced ourselves that we will review internally any of the impact of the testimonies that come out, so that we are ready at any point where we are supposed to take actions or conduct any further investigations. Remember, with the previous investigation, the report is out there. We've made several recommendations ranging from institution of prosecution, institution of disciplinary process, institution of civil litigation processes, right, so that we can recover the monies lost to state.
When you advocate, when you talk about playing a supportive role of the Zondo Commission as the SIU, can you just elaborate on exactly what that is? How are you supporting this commission?
Look, we from time to time we would be contacted in terms of the investigations that we've done, and whether there's any documentation, right, that we can share with the Commission, and if not, obviously we look at the legal implications thereof. They will also look at the legal implications thereof, and where we are able to share documentation, we do so.
Right.
So that's the nature of the support.
Of the support, right.
Yeah.
So it's some have described this as a season of commission of inquiries. I mean, we come from the Nusian Commission into tax. The PIC inquiry is currently underway into maladministration there, and then of course the Zondo Commission. I mean, are you playing any roles, or have you played any roles in the Nusian Commission and this PIC inquiry, or how closely are you looking at that? No,
we're not playing any role in the PIC Commission or the Nusian Commission for that matter, except that our mandate in terms of our legislation, right, which is Special Investigating Units and Special Tribunals Act 74 of 1996, if you go through it, it mandates us to investigate into the state institutions where there's maladministration, there's malpractice or corruption, any other irregularities. So we are observing those processes closely, so that at any point where we are of the view that any of the aspects fall within our mandate, we could then process those appropriately. And remember, we investigate based on the proclamation that's signed by the President.
Sure.
So we would then, we are able to, out of our own, identify areas where we are of the view that we could come in and assist further in terms of further investigation.
I mean, do you have any current investigations now that have been signed by the President that are perhaps in any way related to some of the inquiries that are ongoing?
Right. I mean, we've got various investigations that are going on at the moment, but in particular, with the concept of state capture, as we would understand it, and remember, as we sit today, we have sought to just make sure that we understand the impact or the import and the extent of the so-called state capture. To that extent, we've got various institutions that we are having investigations in, notably ESCOM. We've got an investigation that's running there.
Sure.
We've got an investigation that's running at Transnet. We've got an investigation that's running at SABC.
I mean, are you able to share anything that's come from your investigations in SOEs currently, so far?
At the moment, we obviously can only share those aspects that have been made public. With regard to the ESCOM investigation, and we are pleased to say that all of these investigations are now happening within the purview of the new strategy that we have adopted. And that strategy says we put premium on the impact of the SIU work. Sure. And that work is characterized by quick turnaround times, so that we are able to follow up on the recommendations that we have made and so on. So with the view that we need to investigate and turn around our investigation as quickly as is possible without compromising any quality, we have, since we started ESCOM, we have now been able to put together evidence that indicates that the Taketa contract has been irregularly awarded.
Sure.
And that contract runs into billions of rands, and it's still ongoing.
For sure,
so
damning findings
the point
like
I'm
that.
trying to
Sorry,
make
Advocate.
is
Sorry, we're just running out of time. I just want to make sure that I get this question in. I mean, damning findings like that, when it does come to Taketa and the like, South Africans will look at it and say, "All right, okay, we've been following this publicly. A lot of us were aware that there was, so much of rampant corruption going on. But what next? I mean, are these individuals? Will they be held into account? What's their recourse?"
Right. Exactly that. So part of what we have adopted is to ensure that when there's findings like those, so we find that the contract is irregularly awarded. Your question is what next? We then pursue the matter and take it to civil litigation so that the court process is underway so that we can recover the monies that the state has lost.
Sure.
As we speak, that matter is in court. The papers have been served, and we are still awaiting for the other party to serve the papers, and it will take its course. We have been in engagement with the other parties. We are of the view that it will move swiftly. As we speak, the investigations are also uncovering certain parts of evidence,
sure.
And that evidence will point to other irregularities or misconduct or other criminal activities, and when we do so, the next step is to ensure that the accounting authority of ESCOM, which is the board, holds all of those who are accountable. We hold them responsible. That's what we call consequence management. Where there's criminal actions, we make sure that we pursue. We refer the matters to NPA in terms of our act and make sure that we follow on and make sure that those prosecutions are followed through.